Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I turned my workbench into something else. This used to be a laundry room, and there was a workbench and kind of a little pantry up there. And then I was thinking, well, I'm going to put my bookshelf next to that and then get some other stuff. I've got like winter stuff to put over on the shelf in the closet and that type of thing. But I have an enclosed bookshelf that goes along with my desk set that I want to get set up a little bit different in here, a little bit at a time. And then I'm going to do that wall in back where all that stuff is eventually. But yeah, I just moved a bunch of, we got a new fridge, so I had to move a bunch of stuff because we're going to put it in another place, but we're going to fix the wall where it is first because stuff's old in our house. And so we're remodeling wherever we feel like we need to attack it next, and that will be where, in the kitchen anyway. I had to move a lot of stuff today and dust it and wash it and all that, and which is good because I do that a lot to move something, clean under it, and oh, ick. Yeah, I don't think anybody really likes to clean, but maybe. I used to love it. I really did. Then one day after I wasn't feeling so well, then it started to get to be more of a chore. I still don't mind it too bad, but I don't absolutely love it. So, anyway, back to the books is what I was thinking. And like I say, mine are enclosed. Um, well, okay, you see a lot of these people that are scholars and they'll have their books like right behind them in their videos. And yeah, okay, obviously these are people of knowledge because they have their books right behind them. But my question is, when books are so easily damaged and dust and moisture and all that stuff gets to them, why would you have your most precious books? Like I have a 1921 Webster's Dictionary, first edition for the United States. In my bookshelf, I have I have like 1904 books and 1823s and old Bible and that type of thing. Why would these people have their most treasured items out on a shelf in back of them? Because it just looks like they're so intelligent, doesn't it? But why wouldn't they enclose their books if they're that smart? I mean, if you don't have a way to dehumidify things, or if you don't live in a dry, um, um, area or whatever, I suppose keeping your books out might be a good thing. I have a bookshelf in the other room, but it doesn't get as dusty in there. There's not a lot of traffic, people, or anything in there. There is, I'm gonna look it up. I'm not sure of the date. Doug's got an older book on the pyramids. I'm gonna pull that out one of these days when my Barb Weiss channel is back up and at it. Um, I'm gonna do that over there. Um, so anyway, but I'm just kind of astounded why people have their books out in the dust and dirt and humidity and all that, unless they're trying to like virtue single, like, look, I have books. you know, yeah, the computers, the internet's a awesome book, isn't it? Anything, basically. It's hard to find some stuff, but One thing you won't find online is something I read that is in correlation with Strong's Concordance, Webster Dictionary, and the King James Version of the New Testament, and touching on some of the old, but is the Masonic Blue Book. It's not the same as the Masonic Bible. It goes into more depth on what's going on right now with the Christ Spirit and the control that the Masons, not the Freemasons, but the Masons, implemented with the Jesuits to have over people. I mean, it was a lot of the Jesuit that went around the world, like in South America and Africa and other countries, that they would implement their missions and teach people who Christ was. And they don't have anything to do, they didn't have anything to do with any Judaism as far as Talmudic beliefs or strictly the Torah, or it was the Holy Bible that they were teaching to these people in their missions, the Jesuits at one time. A lot of the missionaries worked right alongside with mercenaries that would take native people and put them on ships and different things from all different countries to all different countries. So anyway, I don't know where I'm thinking off on that, but anyway, about the Jesuits, they used to be the good guys. The Masons, some of them could be, and there could be. I don't know if there's a Jesuit that's actually a good person alive at this time. I have no clue. I just know that one was watching me, and as soon as I'm not going to support them that say they are Jews, I don't care where you're from or where you think you're from. I just care how you treat other people and what your mindset is towards them. I could care less what you think you are or who you are or who you think you are. I don't care. So, yeah. But some people didn't want to hear my opinion of how the Native Americans, if people in the United States want to support another country that is being so-called invaded or whatever, number one, you don't know the facts, and you should watch a video from 21 hours ago from Israel News Live called Law of Return versus Right of Return, speaking about Israel and Palestine, and learn the facts. I'll share it over on my Facebook. You can go over there and look at Barb Wiest Facebook, and you'll find that. I sometimes will link things to my videos, but depends on who's watching it and why, if you're interested in the truth of the heritage and the bloodlines and their migration or lack of migration and who belongs where and why, which is all rather ridiculous when we all live on this planet as equal human beings, so if people don't want to hear that, and if you live in the United States and you don't think the Native Americans should have control over their own country, but you think somebody across the sea should, well, not only are you a hypocrite, but I couldn't consider even respecting you in the least, not one bit. So that's the way I feel about that. And Obviously somebody didn't like that yesterday. Oh, well, I actually had shared a link of what I had said in case somebody wanted to hear it, because they are from Israel, and I wanted them to hear how I felt about the situation in correlation with the Native Americans, the little bit of that blood that I do have in me, you know. And the way natives feel is if you have one drop of native blood, you're a native. Well, I got a lot more than a drop, but. And so do Christians over in Israel, in Jerusalem. You do not have to be Jewish, of the Jewish persuasion, to be born in Israel and have your ancestors be there for thousands of years as any other Israelite. Doesn't matter your religious persuasion. It's the country, not your religion. That's what it's based on in all laws, isn't it? If it went just on heritage, then my country, the natives, would be happy here, because they would run it with grace and style and more intelligence like they always did. Only now they have degrees and they know a lot, well, of course, agriculture and animal husbandry, but technical issues and physics and you name it. Lawyers, doctors, whoever, nurses. So. Cooks, they do, everybody does everything nowadays, you know. Except for the rabbi. They always be rabbi. I think there's a lot of pastors and ministers of churches that would like their golden word just to be presented with funds to keep their words coming out of their mouth. But there's a lot of people I know that don't get any funds for speaking the truth, and their word is, if not as golden, more golden than the people that expect that money, you know. So I'm just kind of biding my time. Today is not a day I want to take everything out of my fridge, because I have a wood cook stove out in the kitchen, and I had like my dog food up there and wood chips for barbecuing and everything else. But we're going to get it where it's usable again, so we have to bring it out from the wall a little bit, because I had to push. I mean, this thing's heavy. I used to pull it around by myself, but I probably could, but I wouldn't want to hurt myself, and we're going to jack it up and roll it. So anyway, I just had a pop up from my antivirus stuff popped up on me. It said website blocked. I'm not even on a website, you goofy thing. Cheers, everybody, or did I say that? Cheers again anyway. And it just popped up again. I'm just going to leave it. I don't think it's blocking me. And then it goes down when I go like that. That's funny. It's like I was listening to Robin's Hood today, and he said something about a picture or a video he had taken, and it was going sideways, he said, just as I was looking at my candle I've got on that shelf, and it's going sideways. It was just kind of ironic. At the same time, I'm thinking about my sideways candle, because it fit in there nicely, you know. But it's, you know, ironic little things like that in my life constantly. It's like, yeah, it's God or Satan, you know, all the time because they both know what's up. They took time planning stuff, you know, it's ahead of time. There's like the prophecies in the Bible and what's foretold. This isn't by chance, this is all really real. It's like tripping out because of similarities in his life and stuff, and it makes me laugh, not at him, but sort of with him, because in that respect, I thought everybody was going through that type of thing like that. Like you turn on the TV and you're talking about what something just came out of somebody's mouth, or you know, it's just, I don't know. Or you make a video and you're talking about something and somebody you listen to uploads the same thought that you were talking about. Just all the correlations and the orchestration of the whole thing, it's remarkable. You know, it really is. Yeah, it's a trip. Doug bought me a gold plaque up there. It's got a couple hearts on there, and it's a little saying about, um, like, you know, we're like apart, but yet we're walking this walk together. It's like, I was mad at him when he got it for me, so I just like let it sit out in the kitchen collecting dust for a while. I'm like, and I just like put it aside. It's like, yeah, you can walk by yourself, you clown. You need to. I'm just here observing, not absorbing, you know. But yeah, to recognize that I'm not playing, and I mean everything that I say, that's, you know, and to be on that same wavelength, you know, without killing each other, that's a good thing. You know, it's actually the best thing in the world that a lot of people don't know. I think maybe one other person actually realizes. Maybe. Huh. Yeah. Them that say they are Jews forget that there was people on the land that they want to call their own before they even migrated there. And just like in my country, those are the people that are the aboriginals. They're the originals. They're the um, indigenous. They're the forefathers. They're the owners. You know, them people are actually. And what would it matter? Because if they all could live together like we do in our country. But they have problems like that, and they want us to respect them as God-loving people. And they're not God-fearing people at all, not enough to keep His word. And they call themselves Jews. And they're not even from there. I'm an inward Jew, but I wasn't born in Jerusalem. I had a close proximity. When I was 15, I moved to Bethel, a little tiny town of 100 people. That was our mailing address. Then they changed the address to St. Francis. But, yeah. But, you know, the Antichrist comes first, and people don't want to believe that who they've been supporting all along is not who they say they are. And it does sadden my heart that there's people that either, number one, and I don't believe this because a lot of people are very proud of their heritage, but won't admit the actual beginning of their heritage. They just want to claim rights to what appears to be in between, not what was before, you know, if that makes sense. I'm telling you that they're Khazarian. They're more of the Slavic bloodlines, and that's who they are. Whether it's Russia, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Croatia, I could go on. But these are the bloodlines that invaded Jerusalem and Israel, you know? There were Arab people there. They spoke Arabic, you know? Pre-Hebrew. It was a form of Greek. It was more like Latin. That's what Christ spoke. That's what Jesus spoke. He was known to speak Hebrew, yes, but that was not his language. And people forget it was the Jews that killed him. Oh yeah, the Roman soldiers, but who was in charge of those soldiers? Who were the priests that just stood there? Yeah. As what they called themselves back in those days. I'm going to put that link to the law of return versus the right of return. I'll just put the link in the description. I usually put the title and everything else, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just copy it. And if you want to follow the blue link, you can get the truth of the bloodlines. That's what my channel typically was about, and will be again in about a week when I get on my major one. But for now, I'm gonna just keep you updated on a few little things. But that's important for people to know. Even if that's their heritage, then they should admit the truth, because there's people like me that I actually studied the bloodlines, the banners, the crests, how they migrated. That was like my specialty. Even the colors and the name changes and stuff they change, and intermarriage, and who went with who into what country and why. All of it, right up until currently. And so if they don't want to admit all their migration and all that, you know, and there was Upper and Lower Egypt too, and people think of just like Egyptians being like dark skinned. There was redheads and blondes, and you know, that eventually turned into like Romans and Germans and Phoenicians, and for real. And these are the people I'm talking about, the ones that have always traveled by ships and that type of stuff, in force with armies taking over other people's countries. So, just like they're trying to do to the United States, and they want to just totally keep people like me silent, and everybody else is afraid that their life would change somehow, which it could only get better, you know. So, Don't forget when they say peace and safety, all hell's gonna break loose. Don't forget that. Well, I appreciate you joining me. I'm going to get this uploaded. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.